Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum. And welcome back to the Iftar Drive right here on Salaamedia. And of course, Moulana Yunus Kawnga is in studio with us. MashaAllah. Moulana, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Moulana, have you been getting Eid Mubarak messages yet? Still too early, hey?
Not yet. I think people will start doing so on the weekend, inshallah.
Yeah, when you have your show on Sunday will be the day before Eid. So you're going to get a lot of people calling in saying, Moulana, I want to wish Eid Mubarak to my mommy, for my daddy, and my Kala.
Shout out.
Eh?
I want to make shout out.
Yeah. But Moulana, isn't it? I don't know about you, but I'm just really flabbergasted at how quickly this Ramadan has gone.
SubhanAllah. You know, like I was just thinking the same thing on my way here. That look, we can still remember the first day of that Eid. That the Ramadan was on that Sunday, right?
Right. Yes.
Like it's still fresh in our minds, and SubhanAllah, look. Now we're here. It's Allah, like you can't even put words to it. How time has actually flown.
It has really flown. And you know, everybody's talking about there's no barakah in time, but there should be barakah in the month of Ramadan, isn't it?
Yeah, like Ramadan on its own has a different vibe. Like how we like to say vibe. There's a different mood to it, right? However, if you just look at the whole course of time by itself, it is that time doesn't there's no barakah in time anymore, due to obviously what we can see, the fitan which have spread throughout the world, due to the calamities that are facing the ummah at large. So regardless of it being Ramadan or not, everything we just pushed together, like joined up in one bundle.
Right.
So subhanAllah, it's not really that Ramadan doesn't have barakah, but just the time all in all.
I think this in these times, it's more incumbent on the Muslims to be more conscious about the time moving very quickly and making sure that whatever goals you have for the month of Ramadan, you don't allow yourself to procrastinate, because if you do, before you know it, it will be 27th or the 28th, and then you're like, goodness, I don't think I can finish my khatam in 2 nights.
Exactly, it's like that, like we at first when we started, like we are just like, I have enough time.
Right.
Then when you get to the 10th night, the first 10th night, then you're like, okay, I've missed a few bars, I'll try and catch up. Then when it gets to the 20th, then you're like, oh, okay, there's no more time.
Subhanallah. But whatever little time that we've been able to do, whatever little work we've been able to do, I think the important is the correct niyyah, and inshallah the rewards and the spirit of Ramadan. Moulana, we are in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. The masajid brothers are sitting itikaf, the sisters are sitting itikaf. We're winding down with the Quran. And some masajid are actually getting closer towards the khatam, if not.
Some have
already finished the whole Quran. Subhanallah. So, where are we going to pick up our nasiha from today, inshallah?
So, I think it will be only trying to do justice to it, actually, that we look in the last short surahs in the Amma, the 30th juz. Because as you know, the 30th juz is, subhanAllah, it's filled with gems in terms of the short surahs. One of the points of the short surahs was that these were, when they say in the knockout punch, these were the knockout punch in terms of Islam in Makkah. When you see the short surahs, you find that most of them have this rhythm, have this rhyme, sort of a rhyme scheme to them. When you look at, for example, what ayah comes in my mind, Al-Masad, right? تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب. So it has that rhyme, sort of a rhyme scheme at the end, because the Quraysh at the time, they were very averse to listen to the Quran. They didn't want to listen to it, but they actually enjoyed listening to it. That's another point we need to look at. They enjoyed listening to it, but they just didn't want to listen to it due to their, their pride and arrogance. So what used to happen is they would close their ears with their fingers, and then a person like Ibn Mas'ud used to love doing this. He used to love reading out loud so that they can hear the Quran. So when he sees them closing their ears, he will stop. Then when they open it, then you start reciting. Like, for example, take Qul Huwallahu Ahad, then they close their ears. when you open it, they'll say Allahu Samad. Like as the short ayats are kicking and trying to close, but at the end of the time or the day, they would have gotten the whole suit in their heads.
I see what you're talking about. Very, 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 very important that you even mentioned that, Moulana. The fact that the Quran is concise.
It is very concise.
That a simple thing like Allahu Samad is just two words, and it's
When you look at it, try and dissect it, it means, subhanAllah, the meanings are just amazing.
right.
And it takes you into a deeper, more, I could say, pedestal when you're trying to do the tafsir of that short ayah.
Mm.
I mean, you look at Allah Samad, doesn't just mean Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is self-sufficient, doesn't just mean that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is independent, but it also means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is way better than all those idols that the people were worshipping and trying to put on the same pedestal as Allah. It also in the verse says that those idols are helpless, they can't do anything, like how Ibrahim alayhi salam used to give da'wah that do you believe a thing which doesn't benefit, nor does it harm you, and it doesn't hear you, it doesn't even talk, so it brings a lot of things into composure, into perspective, subhanAllah. So today, inshallah, I think it's only like we started with the problem talking about time.
Wal Asr.
Wal Asr. We look at that beautiful surah, Wal Asr. Many times we read the surah, but we don't really ponder on the surah. So in our school, what we do every day, actually, before the kids dismiss, we make them read the surah and they also read the translation of the surah.
Right.
So this is to signify that the whole day you were in school, the time just passed and we were very heedless at most of it, but at the same time we're just trying to gain that, like scrape up those barakas wherever we can by reading the surah to remind ourselves that look, time waits for no man.
SubhanAllah, that's very good.
So alhamdulillah, this is a good point of reflection. So when you do start with surah itself, it says Wal Asr. Now many times people would just say Wal Asr, it's just about time, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is actually taking an oath on time itself. And
So Allah is taking an oath on time.
on time,
So Allah, the person, the being upon which we take an oath,
He takes an oath on time.
takes an oath on time.
So like whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes an oath on something, that means focus has to be put, emphasis is being placed on that thing.
Right.
Like when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm just trying to think other ayats in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does.
He does take an oath on himself. He says, Tallahi.
Yeah,
In the Quran.
وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى,
Right.
right? And وَالضُّحَى.
It's also another
There's also another oath. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now puts an oath, takes an oath on anything now, He's trying to put our concentration, attention towards that thing. Like, what is the significance of this thing in our lives? Now, Al-Asr, most of the times people say just time. But when you look at Al-Asr, and now translated into the salah that you're performing of that Asr salah, which is actually the middle salah. Now, there's another amazing significance, right? The middle salah, where you have two before it and two after it. Now, the middle salah, what does it tell you? It tells you that, okay, half of the day has went by, or you performed two salahs already. Now you're performing the third salah. So how have you spent your day? You've come this far. So this is another point of reflection into Ramadan. I mean, we've come this far. Tonight will be the 24th. So that means we'll have about 6 days left, right? Or even less.
Yeah, it could be a 29 day month this year.
So right now we are about, I could say, a week away from Eid. So we need to now go back, reflect. The first point where we started, we were talking about how we need to have good intention. And now it is a time to revise those intentions that we took. Then the next ayah, Allah goes into, like, it changes the mood. It's like, subhanAllah, this is how amazing the Quran is. It doesn't just stick to one thing in your mind right now. It changes the mood, however, still on the same topic of time. It says that in the insana lafi khusr. He said, however, mankind are at a loss. Now, when you look at the word khusr, it doesn't just mean like, you've lost something in your pocket, something just dropped and lost it. But khusr also means that you have wasted time. The other word of wasting is daya. To make a daya means that you're wasting your time like on purpose. Now, this one is like you are lost in terms of things have kept you busy, things have kept you preoccupied.
Excuse me. Sorry, I don't know. I'm just coughing. I'm sorry.
Right? Things have kept you busy that you were supposed to try and take heat from. Besides the worldly life, I mean, it will always take our time. Subhanallah. But at the same time, the other things that we should have placed more emphasis in terms of pondering, etc. Then now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives another spin. Right? He gives us another spin, then he gives us call it a point of exception. He says that إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, except for those who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do good deeds. So it's not just about Iman now. It's a point of it's Iman, yes, Alhamdulillah, you read the Shahada, right, Alhamdulillah. But at the same time, that has to be coupled with وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, now doing good deeds for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because many times we think and believe that only saying La ilaha illallah is enough. So this is where we bring up back to that point
Make
of
me laugh,
Iman
Moulana.
in Islam.
I had to leave the studio and cough. I had a coughing fit. And then Sadiq says to me, why don't you drink some water? Moulana, please continue.
Right. So I'm just here on this point of the exception that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings in terms of those who have not lost according to the
Also,
time.
everybody's at a loss except
Those who إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, those
Right.
who believe, those who have Iman. However, but not having Iman is not the only thing that will put you into the exception.
Mhm.
Then Allah said, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. He doesn't say إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أو الَّذِينَ عَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَات, right? Like all
Right.
those who believe, all those who do good deeds. It says that now they have to have those two qualities in them, Iman and doing good deeds.
Right.
Good deeds obviously will translate into Islam in terms of your salah, psalm, etc., etc. Then he said that now here's the point which is going to add what the soul will have.
Okay.
Now this is amazing because what the soul, now this comes
So
from
everybody's at a loss except for those people that have Iman and do good deeds and those people that make tawasul.
So now this is
So what is
still,
tawasul?
these are now the qualities of the people who haven't gotten lost.
Who are not at a loss.
So it's Iman, doing good deeds, and now making tawasul bil haqqi wa bil sabr. Bil haqq, tawasul means that we're helping, assisting each other. Right?
Okay.
So it's like encouraging each other more so on the truth, on haqq. When you see obviously a person doing something wrong, you have to find now here comes another ayah that comes into play, right? إِلَى سَبِيلِ رَبِّكَ بِالْحِكْمَةِ وَالْمَوْعِظَةِ الْحَسَنَةِ, that you have to call to the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with hikmah. Now this is where hikmah comes in. You might have knowledge of da'wah, but now giving da'wah needs hikmah.
Okay.
Not necessarily every person who's a knower of that fun of that art can do. I remember there was one amazing thing before they used to say those who can't do teach.
Well, you know, this saying doesn't come from our community.
It doesn't. That's a point, but it's quite funny. I always think about it, I'm like, no, but some points not really. But alhamdulillah, in this point, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says now we need to assist each other, we need to work together in terms of reaching the 2 points of haqq and sabr. Now haqq, obviously that's
the truth.
The truth, spreading the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَجَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلُ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. Now there's that point that the truth will come, falsehood will perish. Now we need to keep on encouraging people upon the truth. Now the last point I think is very important now because of what has happened in the past few weeks, etc. On sabr, patience. Now what patience are we talking about here? Obviously there's a lot of categorization in terms of patience, but this is more so on. Remember again, we're taking time. The first word that Allah made a person on of time. That we're coming to a time of hardship, time of a lot of things, time of we see a lot of calamities that are taking place. More so, we find the Muslim community being on the receiving end. Then now it's a time that we should support and assist each other upon those calamities which are facing the community at large. So the sabr, the patience, is on helping each other get through that, inshallah.
Moulana, just one last thing before we go because we've run out of time. The bab that's used is mufa'ala, like you know, it's not
comes from both sides.
Yeah, so it's not one way street.
No.
So when we are advising each other on haqq, we you know, it's not just one person. We are advising Each of us are advising
advising one another.
and
That's
also
why
on sabr.
we
So
say Adinun Nasiha. The
right.
deen is about good counsel and
Yes.
encouraging each other and doing good.
So it's not just a one-way street.
So,
So you advise me, I advise you. We
right.
advise each other, and that's how it is.
And you know what it does? Now it removes that feeling, feeling of holier than thou type of attitude. You know, so because we all know that okay, I have my mistakes. This person has their mistakes. So now we work together, and inshallah.
Okay. Well, it's very early today, inshallah, Moulana, the iftar. So we're going to have to take a break, inshallah, and come back after the break with our nasiha. Stay tuned.